Hello, trading has closed on February 24th, 2025. As always, we'll start with our disclaimer. We'll go over our calls, make our predictions. I also want to go over evaluation of the longer term count. It's my trading plan for tomorrow, which is Tuesday, February 25th, 2025. Just remember, it's a plan. I can change my plan. My plan can be wrong. Also, for this whole week, I'm busy during the day, during the trading day. I'm not going to have as much time to watch the market, and during the day, it's unlikely I'll make any trades myself. Also, if you want to order my webinar, please give me an address, preferably a Gmail address. Someone ordered it today, gave me a wrong email address. I'm certain it was just a simple typographical error, but the point was I couldn't send it to him. I got the right address now, but if you would make certain it's the proper address, and preferably a Gmail address, it would save me a lot of time. We look for the pattern today with the early high, which is this, and tomorrow she'll also have the early high. So the pattern tends to have an early high and a late low, tends to be a negative day. We got that. We said unless we gap down smartly, we had some higher targets. We had a target of 6,035.74, and that actually printed right here at the open. We had some ultimate targets, 60.48.81, 61.01.26. Those did not print, but ultimate doesn't mean powerful as in an ultimate weapon. It means ultimate as in eventual, meaning ultimately at some point these numbers print, and that's been very consistent. We also get the cross and old price target off the list, 59.84.55. That was printed a couple of weeks ago, about 3 weeks ago. Note how the number printed and it was support at and just under the number. This is a review of what we said. It should be in black. We have a new target from today's action, 6,021.34. If we don't gap down smartly, that's my call for tomorrow. Doesn't mean you won't gap down smartly, in which case we keep the number, but not the time. MEJT said this move up here was false. It was going to retrace, which it did. Said this move was false. That dropped. Now it says the drop is false. It's going to come back up. This is a wall into the close. It's usually panic selling by retail customers, and if that is what it is, we're going to gap up tomorrow and overtake this high fast. Not going to claim it works every time, but it certainly works often enough. We've had all day long to correct, and waiting until the final 10 minutes to do it, and then selling with abandon is a hallmark of panic selling by the amateurs in the vast majority of cases. And if that's what this is, we're going to gap up, we're going to hit our target. I am going to change the degrees of my long-term count. We had Magenta 1, we had Magenta 2. I had this as Magenta 3 because of the Fibonacci relationship to Magenta 1. But they always say it isn't the only valid count. I'm changing that to wave 1 of Magenta 3, meaning we're now in wave 2 of Magenta 3 for a number of reasons. One, this just doesn't look as strong as the third wave normally looks. Third wave is normally longer than wave 1. This one isn't. Wave 4, if that's what this is, should be equal in size or time to wave 2 in the vast majority of cases, and it isn't. So all those things don't fit. But the other reason has to do with my long-term count. My long-term count has us topping out around just under 7,000 cash. And if this is wave 1 and that's the end of wave 2, then If it'll let me do this, I will. Then wave 3 would hit my target on the nose. Of course, the fifth wave would have to truncate, but if there's a strong wave 3, that's what normally happens. So tomorrow's pattern has a really high regardless of where we open. There is a higher MEJT target. Unless we gap down smartly, the rules call for it to print. There's a wall into the close, and that's often followed by gapping up. NASDAQ, McClellan Oscillator, and the Volatility Index both have closed outside their Bollinger Bands, and if, in capital letters, if we reverse back through them, it gives a buy signal. Now, I don't think this decline's over. I've been saying at least in the 5800s. Maybe we'll go lower than that. But the sentiment indicators I watch, they're getting close to numbers seen at the end of a decline, and I see person after person calling for a decline lasting months. Well, maybe they're right, but usually when everyone says one thing, it's not going to happen. I can't say it's impossible. We might drop for months, but it's not assured at all. And if, again in capitals, if we drop hard enough, and if we drop fast enough, this decline could be over much sooner than months, maybe in just a couple of weeks. And if that happens, we could rally more than 1,000 points to near 7,000. None of that's happened yet. Not risking money on it yet. I don't think this drops over. We have more to go. But the next lower MEJT target's under 5,500. I'm not assured we're going to see that. We have higher targets that will print at some point, almost always, and we have a higher target for tomorrow with the pattern with the early high. Good chance we gap up, good chance we hit the target. I think there's more to go on the downside, but this might not be as prolonged a decline as other people are calling for, although that's not carved in stone at this point. Pattern with the early high, and that's today's call.